Alright guys, well this is a follow-up video on my 2012 Nissan Juke that I pulled the CVT out of and rebuilt it. It ran great at about 500 to 600 miles. As I started to drive this, I started getting an axle noise and I thought, well, maybe the CV axle was bad. Again, and I took out the gears here. This is the idler gear. I thought, well, maybe one of these gears has got a bad bearing. So I checked all the bearings in the differential here and everything, and I could not find anything that was bad. And once I put all this together here, you can see I have absolutely, it spins freely. This here goes in here like this. This is your transfer gear. That goes like that. No problems there. Everything's tight. The bearings all look good. So I took all this apart and I got to thinking, well, there's got to be something else going on. And as I pulled all this apart, I just so happened to grab this primary gear here. There's two in here. I think this is the primary, I'm not sure. But I grabbed it and just happened to turn it, and look, I got slop here. I thought, well, that's not turning. I can feel that. So what would happen, I'd kind of take off after I got hot, kind of turn the wheel a little bit, and I'd hear this bing, clunk, 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 bing. And it sounded like it was hard gears, mashing, having a problem. So it turns out I was on to something. This is a little loose. The reason why it's loose is I flip this around here. Oh, it's kind of hard to do with one guy here. I'm going to have to probably shine a light here and set this up a little bit better. And as I grab this down here, turn this a little bit, look up here. What do you see there? Let me zoom in just a little bit better. Looky there. Yep, we got some teeth missing on the belt. Apparently one of them popped off. That should not be there. If I close this up like that, there's probably 2 or maybe 3 missing. I didn't see them in the oil pan, but when I go to turn that gear with my fingers, if I turn this like this and kind of turn that at the same time, this thing does not move at all. But there's the problem right there. So I'm going to have to find another belt. So if you have an axle noise and you replace your axle, it sounds like hard gears kind of grinding at times. It didn't do it while I was driving high speed. It only did it at low speeds, like at 5 to 10 miles an hour in a parking lot. When you had the wheel cut. This is probably a problem. Now watch when I do this. See, it goes away. Now if I turn it a certain way, it will come back. See it there at the top? Yep, see? So I'm not sure where those 2 little teeth went. So just a little bit of an update. Looks like we'll be replacing this with another belt, but it's still worth it to me. This thing ran great, man. I mean, I love this thing. I was going really fast down the highway. Turbo kicked in. Been running great. I've been really running it hard. So this happened about 500 miles. I started getting the noise. I drove for a couple hundred miles and it started getting really bad, so I parked it. I did not want to take a chance in destroying this whole CVT. So yeah, so if you're having that problem, you might want to, if you're a rebuilder, if you're tearing into these vehicles, definitely check that, and I'll tear it apart, see if I can get another belt and all that, and fix it and put it back in. But other than that, I had no codes, no nothing. Just kind of started doing its own thing there for a while. So yeah, you can see them in there. It's a pretty big old gap there. Oh boy. And of course, to get in there to see that belt, the problem, well, you got to take the valve body off. It's not too bad if you drop it straight down, but if you're going to pull the transmission out, you're probably going to have to tear the whole thing apart anyway. So after thinking about this, guys, what I've realized, the reason why I could not find these two, well, they were never missing. Everything is here. What has happened, one of these bands on the inside, there's like 6 or 7 of them, are wound up on top of each other. Well, one of those bands broke, and this band became just a slightly larger, expanding this whole area, and that is why I never could find any of these. And there's probably, I'm going to say, at least 2, maybe 3 widths there of those little guys. And you can see, look at that, I can move that back and forth like that. Look at that. So yeah, I got a band ordered, paid $75 for it, and there's the part number right there. And there's a number here, but I'm not sure what this number is. If anybody knows what this number is, let me know, just for the heck of it, and our viewers who are watching this. But yeah, I did order a new belt, and it's on its way. But that's why I never could find those two. They were never missing. Something in here is broken. This band has decided to come loose in there somewhere. So it's a good thing I parked it when I did, because if this would have come out, it would have destroyed probably the whole transmission with stuff, debris flying everywhere and all that. So like I said, I did change out the oil filter, transmission filter, and there was some fine particles, but nothing serious. So yeah, one of those bands broke. We'll find out later. We'll take it apart and see what happened in there. At least that's my theory for now. Alright, finally we got our new push belt for about $80. There's the part number 901047, interchangeable with 901066 right there. So what I gotta do is take these back off, put this back on, and put my my pullers, 3-jaw pullers on here, spread this apart and get this off here and put this new belt on here and all that. And I double checked everything, make sure everything was no scratches, no broken belts or anything. So yeah, what are you gonna do? And I do have my extra bolt over here that I'll put in here when I cut off and made. That'll help me guide this back in when I put the this pulley back in with this belt. I have other videos. If you want to look and search, you'll see how I did this. Look at my playlist and follow along, and you'll see what I did. So let me get this new belt on. And also you can see this one here doesn't have any missing. Well, it doesn't have a gap in here. Like, I can barely get my fingernail in there. That's about all I can do compared to this one where there's 2 or 3 gaps there. Elements seem to be missing, but they're not. The belt's just broke. We're going to take this apart after a while and see what it looks like. The belt, that is. We're going to see what was going on with that. Alright guys, so I did tear the old belt apart. Stacks of 10, and I have exactly 399 elements, and that's what this CVT transmission should have in it. So I'm not sure what's going on. The belts look fine, so I have no freaking clue. But this new belt, it doesn't have the gaps like my old one did. So I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to pull this belt apart real quick and make sure none of them are broke. But yeah, I got 399 elements, so I have no idea why that had such slop in that old belt. But anyway, we'll tear this apart real quick and see if we see any broken bands. Other than that, I don't know. It's a mystery. Alright, so for what it's worth, here's the one band I haven't done yet. But here is one I did take apart. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 bands. And they all are good. So I'm not sure what's going on. So went through all that work just to get them apart just to see, and my hunch was wrong. So I thought one of those would be broken. But anyway, put all that back together, I guess. And one other quick note here. Looks like these bands right here, I think there's probably a little bit more, because I took a micrometer, I slid this out a little bit. This is 250 thousandths. These are 190 thousandths. So you can even actually kind of see that these here are a little thicker compared to these. These are a little thinner. So probably not as many there. I don't know. But anyway, this one's probably a little more heavy dutier, hopefully. So anyway, enough dissecting for now. Alright, so the new push belt is on. That's what it's technically called. If you study these things, kind of weird. But arrow's going that way just like the other one. And I don't have any gaps in here. I can't even take a screwdriver and spread these apart. These are really tight together. So I don't know why the other one had that huge gap in it. That'll be a mystery. I don't know. But this one's together, and I don't have that annoying when I turn the crank here. Let me just hold this and turn this. See, it's tight now. If you can even see that, I set the camera back up. So, see, I don't have any gaps in there now. So, weird. That's what that jerking was. It was trying to fill that little gap when it came around. It was pushing these elements, and that little gap was in there, and it would jerk a little bit. So yeah, it seems to be okay now. So anyway, we'll go ahead and put the rest of it together. At this point, when I come back, hopefully the car will be running, and I'll let you know how it went. So I'm just going to take my time here and put it all back together. Like I said, there's videos on my channel of me putting this back together if you want to look at it. And plenty of other YouTubers doing the same thing here and there on YouTube. And one other thing, real quick, I just have my screws here kind of loose in the back. I'm sorry, the bolts. I got to put O-rings on them. Don't forget to do that because you'll have leaks back here. And once again, there's my stud I made. They kind of guide it through this side here and all that. So anyway, yeah, it's going back together. So hopefully when I come back, you'll see me driving this when I come back and show you the next video clip. I'm not really going to put all this together because there's a lot of videos on YouTube on how to do this, and I have some videos also. But anyway, glad that's over. Let's put it back together. Alright everyone, I just wanted to show you that I had to make a tool. I made this out of PVC plumbing stuff in order to get this snap ring in here, and I made it just enough to go up to the clip because you want to be able to take your screwdriver and go in here and kind of push this clip in all the way around. Alright, so here is where we are at. I had to make a special tool. You can buy these, I don't know, $40, but I made this out of some plumbing material. Basically, I cut it down to where it's just pushing on this part here and here and here. I cut it just where it goes up to the snap ring because you want your snap ring in there, your screwdriver in here behind here to actually push this snap ring down all the way around on the other side of this. So if it's centered up just about like that, there's just enough room all the way around here to get your screwdriver in here and push this back. Hey, maybe the 10 people that watch this will go like, hey, that's pretty cool, and the rest of you will be like, that was stupid. But you know what? It worked. And how I made it work was I took a bar, put a bolt here. This is actually a tie rod in. Put a bolt and washer there and push down on this, then loosened up the bolt a little bit more where I could like push down on that side, tighten it down where I can push on this side, you know, kind of like this. And took my screwdriver, and that sound when it went click, it was a very good feeling because last time I put this in by hand. This time I could not do it for some reason. But basically, you know, make something like this and take a black magic marker and just take a grinding wheel and cut it. This cuts pretty easy, and you can see my clip is in all the way around. I was really excited to get that in, so now I can go ahead and put the rest of it together. I just wanted to show you that. And also, one other thing, if you ever try to take the CV axle out of either side of this and it's full of fluid, it's full on the dipstick, beware, you are going to get fluid everywhere. You're going to get about 2 quarts pouring out on the axle side, especially on the driver's side. Ask me how I know. So if you're going to pull an axle out of one of these, make sure the fluid is pretty much out of it or very low. So other than that, I don't have anything else except I had to make a tool to get this in here. This saved me, I don't know, it took me an hour trying to get this in here with my screwdriver, and it didn't work. I just gave up and made a tool. So other than that, everything's tight, feels good. Nothing's you know, making noise like it did before when I had those elements missing. And speaking of elements, I found it was 2 or 3 when I was rolling this around, tightening up the bolts on the other side. 2 of them fell out of the case. I don't know where they were. They were hidden in here somewhere. I got the other 2 or 3. I'm going to count them in the box over there. But I did find the other 2 elements that came off of the band here, these bands, I still am stumped how they would have come off. I just don't understand, because when I put this on, everything was fine. They came off while I was driving, and there wasn't like some big sudden, like, wow, what was that noise? Never knew a thing was wrong with it until I tore it apart. And if I turn this sideways a little bit here, oh, it's heavy. You can see down there, everything looks pretty good. So I don't know. So I'm gonna finish this up, put it together, get in the car, and see what we got. Hopefully everything will be okay this time. Like I said, mystery. I don't know how the elements come out, why they came out. Don't get it. Don't understand it. So anyway, and I'm not sure how many even supposed to be in this, but I might recount those later. All right, everyone. It's been probably 3 weeks since I've got my CVT back in, and no issues. It seems to be doing pretty good. If I can make it to 500 miles without any weird noises in the parking lot, then I know I've got it made. But I'm still not convinced. All the elements are in that belt, so I don't know. We'll see. I hope I don't have to have another issue with it and have to pull the CVT out or anything. But so I'm going through the parking lot now. I'm going to cut the wheels a little bit. I'm going to have to park here where the dam is, and it's quiet. Get the door open a little bit. And right now I would hear this clunk, 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 clunk. It's quiet. Now I cut the wheels a little bit this way to the left, give it some gas and let up on it. That's when I would hear that noise. So for now it's okay. We'll see how it goes. I don't have any leaks or anything, which is great. But like I said, we'll have to drive it to verify it. But I'm not sure. I don't think. I probably think there's. My guess is probably an element's missing in some of those bands when you buy them. I don't know how you count them. You physically count them and see how many's in it. But other than that, the vehicle runs really good. I mean, it's quiet. You can hear it. I don't have any leaks or anything. So I don't know. It's a learning lesson I guess. And here's underneath of it. Let's see. Well, you probably can't see a whole lot under there, but it's bone dry. Trust me, I've checked it, no leaks or anything. So we'll see what happens. If I have any issues with it, we might have to take it out again and figure out what's going on with those elements on those bands, because I think sometimes just one of them could pop out, and I still don't understand how they come out. And I double checked them when I put the belt on the first rebuild. When I put it in, I made sure that it was nice and tight. And you know, I did the screwdriver test, got in there, couldn't spread any of them apart, so I don't know. Anyway, so thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to tell my next video. I'll see you later.